Hello, everyone, and welcome to Marvel Strike Force Live Show number 4. I am your host, Ramon Azab, and I am excited because we have a lot to discuss here today. We just recently had an update in the Marvel Strike Force world here. We just got Ant-Man into the game, Wasp, and a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. Thanos is back. But before we get there, first and foremost, my co-host, good old Maurice, is here with me. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So, you do you have Ant Man yet?
No. I think I got 30 out of 45 shards.
30 out of 45 shards.
Yeah. So I still need, three more pulls.
Okay,
I've gotten 210 pulls. So I think I've opened four total orbs. So 210 pulls and 25 pulls I think I've gotten.
okay. Well, that's pretty bad. You
Yeah.
know, that's
I don't know, man. That's judging from some of the other guys in the guild. That's pretty good. I'll take it. Yeah, so
no, that's
not
actually
complaining.
that's actually not bad for the drops that compared to what other people are getting. You're right, but what I'm saying overall, the fact that that is the norm here, and it's kind of like a much slower version of the raid chase for some of these characters. I mean, I kind of am a bigger fan of the way they released Deadpool and Thanos than the way they're releasing Wasp and Ant Man. I don't know. I thought that the new campaign style was going to be a lot more interesting, maybe yield better results. But it seems like it's just more of a crystal type grab, like it's more of a cash grab than anything else. Because you're able to refresh it, but I mean, like it's like it's RNG on RNG basically is what it looks like, because you're not even guaranteed certain drop rates on these orbs, right?
Oh yeah, there's a drop rate for the actual Ant-Man orb, like the tokens. There's actually a drop rate for those as well. If you really want the character, yes, it's going to be a crystal grab. But on the flip side, if you're free to play, you don't place well in arena, you don't have many crystals to spare. They basically just give you free energy. You can just farm some gear out of it. There's some really good pieces of gear. You start getting to the end of the medium and the hard tiers of it. Like there's good stuff in there. The drop rates are pretty crap, yes, but for free basically. I mean, it wasn't here last week. And they're giving us 100 energy, which I believe counts towards your raid, towards your tickets,
Right.
for your guild, and also they give you extra when your regular energy refreshes. They give you the Ant Man energy as well. So I mean, it's basically free energy that you can just farm stuff with. Like even if you only get 2-3 pieces a day, like the purple catalysts are in there. If you use all of your energy and get 2 extra catalysts a day, I'll take it. That's 2 more catalysts than I had, 2 days ago.
But
I mean, I'll take that.
now this energy though, it doesn't count towards your actual like daily contribution to the guild, right? So it's like
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Let me test it out. I feel like it does, but let's be certain. I'll just do a battle real quick here and see.
I don't think so. I think it doesn't count, and I think that I mean that's fine, but
It might not. Yeah, let me check it out before I misspeak here.
I mean it's very time consuming. I got to tell you,
To do the actual raid, yes,
uh,
but I believe. See, I was kind of dumb, and I just started at the very beginning, went all the way in. But I think if you complete the hardest tier, it gives you credit for all three. I think I saw that on one of the other YouTubers' channels. But I just started at the beginning, and it took me a solid hour to do all the missions, just like all the way through. So,
so are you fully through all 3 levels of the Ant Man campaign?
yeah.
Okay, so how does it actually work as far as like these pulls are concerned? It keeps saying like you have like a certain like the number keeps dropping. Like let's say you start off with like 7,000. It's like now it says you have like less chances to get. I don't understand what the like why it's saying that now it's like let's say after you pull a couple of pulls, it's telling you okay now you have 6,500 left. What is
Well,
that?
oh yeah. Well, every node has a maximum amount of these Ant Man currency.
That you can get from it?
Right. So like a second ago, I mentioned the purple catalysts. If you
Right.
go in there and just farm nothing but purple catalysts, towards the end of the event, you're going to run out of Ant Man currency. You're going to want to do a different node. Like depending on which characters you're working on, everyone's going to have their favorite 3 or 4 nodes, right? Because those nodes not only give you the Ant-Man currency, but they also give you the blue or purple ability or building materials that you need. So you're going to probably farm those every day. Just spam 10 and just get your 2 pieces, your Ant-Man orbs, and just hit the road. So you're gonna have to keep an eye on that because I'm already. I mean, I'm not running low, but there's already been the purple catalyst nodes. I mean, I've already got about 1,000 out of it. So if I keep this up, next Friday, those are gonna be no good to me. So
Right. All right. Let's see here. So I didn't 3-star this one, unfortunately. Now you've 3-starred them all.
I didn't 3-star a couple of the end ones on the hard. I just don't. I don't have the quite the roster for it.
So I got 250 here. So I see, this is I still haven't pulled my first pack yet, and I mean I've gotten through this far so far. So I've reached this area here. So I guess on the first pull you're getting a guaranteed 400 here. Is that what that means? And then every other chance
Yes.
after that you get a chance for 200.
Right. Like if you do this node the first time, you're going to get 2 of those purple materials, 400 orbs, and then you also have a chance to get anything else that's listed. This is one of those purple catalyst orbs. These are the ones. Yes, they're 20 energy, but I'll probably be hitting them because those things, every character needs them. They're basically like the Carbonis, them and the Phosphates are like the Carbonis and stun cuffs and stun guns of Marvel Strike Force.
I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, I'm glad to farm the people. You can farm the pieces in the game, right? I mean, like you can farm pieces in other areas of the game. Like, I don't know, man. It's free energy, I guess. I feel like I don't know. It feels like a lot of work for very little rewards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being selfish here, but
Well, you just got to play through the campaign once, man, and then like every day it's just spam 10, done. Like I don't, it takes me 30 seconds to just farm what I want
well,
out of there.
this is getting kind of hard here with that. Like, where they literally just target like that one character.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
I struggled with this mission. Yeah, because it's just they come right out of the gate and just target that.
They literally just destroy that character, and then you have nowhere to go. It's 20 energy down the tubes.
Yeah, you got to put Drax on like the opposite side of that character.
Okay, so let's just say I pulled a whole bunch of these, right? Like, so I pulled 100 of these, so I got 200. So that's just like, I mean, like, man, that really stinks. I don't know.
Yeah, but the event's what 14 days long.
Yeah.
So I mean, towards the end, you're gonna have a 3-star, 4-star Ant-Man, just like you had a 3-star, 4-star Deadpool or Thanos. It's just different. And both activities reward more participation, like the Thanos raid. I mean, the higher you got the leaderboards, the little more currency you got. Speaking of the Thanos raid, the way they did it now is, ugh. Like you only get Thanos orbs
If you get 100% on the maximum level,
Yes.
which is like almost impossible. I've heard only like 2 or 3 guilds have done it.
We're not doing it, But
We're not doing that. No.
But for the 30 and 60% tiers, the prize tiers, you do get the mega orb currency. So
Please. 20
it's not
Ant-Man
terrible.
shards.
It's not terrible, but I don't understand why they have
Oh.
to make this a Thanos related activity. Just give us a new activity, or it's just uniform across the board. If you get 100%, I don't know. Like it's free stuff. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because
10
really
Ant-
not.
t- 10,
Like-
10 Ant-Man shards, baby.
there you go.
Yeah, that's a start.
Yeah,
That's the. I mean, how many shards do you need to unlock him?
45. So I
Okay.
believe he's 45, and Wasp is going to be 100. I think.
And Wasp looks like the stronger character, honestly, from looking at the 2 kits.
I think Groot. There's a Groot pack in there as well. I think he unlocks it at 100 as well. So a Groot Blitz they announced is coming. I believe it's July the 7th.
Yes.
So
So do you have the most recent notes up? I believe there's a whole bunch of stuff that's come over the last few days. We have basically Groot coming. They did it says they did a balance update to Thanos, Spider-Man, and Vision. Now, what does that mean?
I don't know. They've already kind of tweaked Thanos once, and then Spider-Man and Vision. I mean, if Vision gets a little bump, like a little bump up, I'll take that because I like Vision. He's just not quite. I can't dump tons of purple ability materials and the all sorts of materials into him and just he's kind of He's
Yeah.
not quite there. He's almost great, but in terms of Dispel, I'll just use Hawkeye or the several other characters I have, like Yondu or Captain America. I got Dispel on all those characters. Jessica Jones. Just the ability block is kind of He's just not. It's like a roulette wheel when you use Vision. It's just like rolling the dice every turn.
Right.
It's fun, but it can be very, very frustrating.
Yeah. Well, Groot, I'm really looking forward to because I mean, I think that the Guardians of the Galaxy synergy is going to be tremendous in this game. Whenever we have all the characters, and I think he's going to be an important component to that team. So he's coming out on the 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so that'll be 8 p.m. for us here on the East Coast.
Okay.
And it's going to have the gentle giant orb in the store as well. So you can actually get Groot right now from the store, from the orbs. And yeah, I mean, I think he'll be a cool character. I mean, I've seen him and what he does when you're facing him as an opponent, and he kind of does a lot of pretty interesting things. I think he does like a team heal.
He's in the game. You can check him out.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, he's in the game. I'll look him up on the GGs to see his max stats here.
So we have Groot here. Yeah, so basically, attack primary target for 100% damage. So basically, he just gets a bunch of damage on this basic attack. He has an ability called Overgrowth, where he gains Death Proof plus apply Death Proof to lowest health ally. And eventually, he applies Death Proof to 3 of the lowest health allies, which is pretty cool. With Life Spores, which is that ability, I think, where like he kind of like grows and you see like all the fluorescent tree leaves coming out from him and stuff like that. It's he heals all allies, and at the max level, he gets an additional 1,500 health on his heal, and he heals the 3 lowest health allies for 100 health plus 3% of the character's max health, and a 30% chance to clear negative effects from all allies. And yeah, I mean that's a pretty cool ability. Again, he's got a team heal, and it seems like he can do some pretty decent damage with his basic attack. And on his unique, on death, 10% chance to revive with a 10% of his character's max health. On death, death-proof Rocket Raccoon if ally. So if Rocket Raccoon's in the game, there's a synergy there as well. And at a higher level, he gets an additional 5% chance to revive and a 50% chance to apply defense up to all allies. At the max level, applying defense up every turn. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, he seems like an interesting character. He's got a nice kit, but
Base speed on GG is 70.
His speed.
That's pretty slow.
That's mega slow. Yeah. What are Ant-Man and Wasp speeds?
Let's have a look.
I know Ant-Man's speed is relatively slower. I think Wasp's speed is actually fast. And I think that whole Rocket Raccoon thing, because I don't know if you know, but some people were receiving, Rocket Raccoon events and getting Rocket Raccoon shards. I think they've admitted that was like a mistake, and that people weren't supposed to be getting Rocket Raccoon at that point. And I guess he's coming to us later on at some point.
Well, to be honest, I didn't even realize that was happening. Until I got that message in the game today, I was like, oh, but yeah, they said somewhere that event is coming back as well. I'm trying to find the message now, but.
All right, so
we got 600 Thanos tokens as a issue resolved bonus.
Wasp speed is 112.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is pretty average, right?
Pretty average. And Ant-Man's speed,
pretty good. I mean, that's pretty fast, but
is 100.
Yeah.
112
is above average. I think 100 is probably right at average. I'd have to look it up again.
I like his abilities. His kit is pretty cool. The animations are, some of the more awesome animations in the game so far. I'm really kind of anxious to see, how cool Wasp is of a character. Her kit actually seems like the more, advanced, possibly the superior kit of the two. She's got, obviously a chance to chain attacks on her basic, uh, and she can stun a target with her special attack. And she can attack stealth targets, and this attack can't be countered. So it's like an area effect attack that can't be countered, and it looks like it has a whole bunch of damage bonuses here. So she can do, it looks like a decent amount of damage with this attack as well. I'm looking forward to her. I think she's pretty cool. Again, does Ant-Man have the Avengers tag? He doesn't, right?
He does. He does.
Oh, he does.
Yes.
Okay.
Which makes him interesting, because in the event that we receive some sort of like similar, like let's say a lot of people speculate that Nick Fury will require 5 Avengers. This is an option for those like myself that couldn't get Iron Man, and without Iron Man, I'm gonna have almost impossible. It would be impossible for me to acquire 5 Avengers, in time for any event. Like, because I mean, I'll have Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye. And I don't have Black Widow unlocked. Vision's 2-star. I'm not going to get Black Panther to 5-star anytime soon unless he, just magically appears in some store. I think one of the data mines, predicted or said that Black Panther was supposed to be in the Arena store. And again, it's a data mine. I have no idea if that's accurate. But, so Wasp could be my 5th behind Thor, Hawkeye, Captain America, and Hulk. So I would have a chance. Whereas I wouldn't. So I think that's cool to have another Avenger, because it's probably the best synergy in the game, right?
Pretty much.
If you can get the Iron Man, the Black Widow, the Black Panther, and have all those characters at your disposal, that's probably the best faction right now in the game.
Yeah, I would have to agree that that's definitely the best faction in the game, and if you're able to get Iron Man, but again that's requiring a whole another farm now that we're talking about. Getting these shield characters and leveling them up. How hard is that event? Like once you get to, let's say, having all the shield characters, I mean, how well leveled do they have to be in order to get Iron Man?
I think I got to the 4-star one, and that one was incredibly easy. But I had a pretty decked out, Captain America and Quake, and that it wasn't difficult at all. At least the 4-star. I have no idea if the difficulty scales. I could go and watch videos, I guess, but I couldn't quite make it to the Iron Man unlock. Next time, no problem. Just Shield Operative and Captain America held me back. So next time for sure.
Next time for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be working on getting prepared for that for next time too. I'm hoping that we have at least a month a month and a half to get there. But this Ant-Man thing.
Josue says Iron Man was easy.
Josue says Iron Man was easy. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's kind of like the same thing. The real chase is getting the characters to 7 stars, and then after that, it's really just easy peasy. I mean, you don't have to necessarily put too much gear into them to see them succeed.
He said his Captain America and Quake were tier 9, Hawkeye was tier 8, Shield Security and Medic were at tier 7.
So what's the max you were able to get Iron Man to? Were you able to get a full 7-star Iron Man if you had like a 7-star Captain America?
I think he's talking about Iron Man 5-star, tier 9, level 5 abilities, level 60, hits like a truck. So I'm assuming he got the 5-star.
Okay.
Yeah, 5-star. Yeah, there he goes.
That's the max you can get is 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping I can get that. That would be sick. I'm excited about Iron Man. I'm excited about getting Captain America up higher. I mean, I finally, I'm farming. I almost have Captain America to 4 stars finally. You know, so many people are ahead of me like crazy with that character, and he's such an awesome character. I definitely need to catch up with Iron Man. All right, but let's get into some raid play here. So I heard here they're going to be. Did they say something about increasing the level cap too?
Yeah, to 65.
So what's the deal with that? Do you think that's going to be annoying, or do you think we're going to get more cool stuff with that? Kind of like an increase plus, we'll get some new levels maybe to campaign.
We did get the new tiers in the challenges already. And I can't remember. It looks like I feel like once you hit level 60, the train one character quest disappeared. I could be wrong, but it's popping up because the reason I said is last couple days, like I've done all my quests. The last one was level up one character, which maybe I was just skipping, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out now that my credits are, excuse me, my gold's getting even thinner with any sort of level cap increase.
Right.
So I mean, you're talking a full day's work, with a couple refreshes on your energy just to level a character one time. Assuming the gold challenge isn't that day. So it's going to be expensive.
How did you do on payday? Did you get to did you get to a higher level than level one? How are your mercenaries? Your mercs?
I got the three. I got the 3-star one. I
Okay.
was very close to the 4-star. Just by luck. I think I pulled bullseye out of maybe one of those mega or the bullseye blitz I did okay, and I think I got top 10%, so 45 there. I was lacking on Merc Lieutenant and Korath, who I'll get up to 4-star after this blitz. So
And
yeah.
I'm still sitting there. So I bought that Black Widow pack, and I'm still sitting there, like 14 shards short of unlocking Black Widow, which is kind of depressing. I'd love to start gearing her up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping that before the end of the Iron Man event, they were going to release that pack again, because they did the same thing for like Hawkeye and a lot of the other packs. They kind of released the pack like 2 or 3 times. Now I don't know if that would have been the case if you had purchased it. Like, so if you bought the pack, would it come back again, or would that just only pop up until you bought it?
I did know I did buy the Shield Operative, the 4.99 one. I purchased that one,
Did you see?
and I had a chance to buy it again later in the week. So I think it's just the same for everybody. Whether or not you bought it, it doesn't matter.
So it's just so they just didn't want to give us 2 times to get Black Widow shards,
Or they didn't want to give us any Captain America.
and
you know.
no Captain America shards. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucked. I was really hoping to get like a boost in Captain America too. That would have been nice, but whatevs. So I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna just keep working on it slowly but surely, and hopefully, by the next time it comes around, I'll be prepared for that. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of sucks because I feel like it's just another situation where, I mean, Deadpool. I have a 5-star Deadpool. I mean, or like close to 5-star Deadpool. I feel like Deadpool I can use in a lot of places right now because I got it for free. You know what I mean? So I mean, he's just a great character, and same thing with Thanos. I mean, again, Thanos is going to eventually fall out of being a top tier character for me because I don't have enough shards for him. I mean, he's only 4 stars for me, but the 4-star, 5-star characters I can use for raids, for blitz, for arena at least for a little while, but if I only get like a 3-star Ant Man or like a 2-star Ant Man, that's not really going to do anything for me. So I don't know. I was kind of hoping that would be the case, and I hope that they start divvying out some of these premium shards into some various locations. I mean, we haven't heard anything since they initially released that cadence that they talked about, where they'd start putting characters like Black Widow into a farmable node. She is
No,
so
Vision's in the premium orb starting today.
right, but he needs to be. I mean, Vision's the premium one, but Black Widow's still not farmable. Nowhere.
Well,
Somebody.
she wasn't a new character though. You know,
Right, but I mean these characters. I mean they should be farmable by now. I
Yeah.
just I mean I understand that maybe they'll put them in a node where you're not going to get a ton. Maybe put them in like a node where you got to spend 20 energy, and maybe you'll get lucky, you get 2 shards a day. So this way you can start at least leveling up the character. Maybe put them in one node, and then a couple months from now you release them into 2 nodes. I mean we got multiple nodes for Captain America, multiple nodes for Hawkeye, multiple nodes for a lot of these other characters. I mean, I want to start working on Black Widow for the next time Iron Man comes around, and it looks like that's still not on the table yet. I mean, we just had this update, and I figured for sure after this update or during this update we were going to get some sort of motion here with the characters from premium to free to play, and nothing happened. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a whiner and a complainer. I'm just a wino, just a big old wino. But okay, let's do this. Let's do this last battle, and then we'll do our top 5 here momentarily. So, are you going to? Are you going to invest in any of these characters? I see you got Mordo from the event. How do you like him so far?
Unsure. I got him like 2,000 power. I just got way too much going on to start some new character. I don't really know where I'd put him. He looks pretty good. Not big, no damage, but just I don't know, a whole lot of blind, whole lot of heal block, which is cool. I have a hard time subbing him in for somebody that's either going to protect my team, which I guess blind does. I guess I would prefer damage. That's just the way I play. I guess I might not be good advice. I don't know, but right now he's not a priority for me. It's nice to have him in case he turns out to be super meta or something. I can work on him then. But 2-star, I'm not really.
That's what I'm saying. It's very hard to get excited about that, right? I mean, even
I don't know. I got 2-star Cable that does awesome in Blitz, but I would never.
Well, Cable is awesome. Cable's awesome. Cable's fun to play with. I mean, he's a cool character. And again, Cable too. I mean, Cable. We got the Blitz for him.
He's coming.
He's nowhere. He's nowhere.
Well, he's after Vision. He came out after Vision, so they just put Vision in the premium orbs. And then Cable won't be far behind. I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of premium orbs just because Cable's in it. But when I do the orb blitzes and just naturally accumulate premium orb currency, I mean, if I get a few Cable shards here and there, I'll take that for sure. I love Cable. He's my favorite character in this game. I love it.
You should buy. So awesome. You should fully buy Cable. Like, you should go full Cable. Just go 7 stars, and just let me know how much it cost you. And then I'll advise people on whether it makes sense to buy Cable. This should be your sacrifice for the stream. Buy Cable, just to give just to do inside research.
I could give you research on my 2-star Cable. He's getting there. He's about tier 8. I use him every day on Blitz. He's on one of my better Blitz teams.
Nah, he looks awesome, man. I mean, I'm totally jelly. I wish I had a 2-star Cable. I'd play around with him. I'd use him for for fun, like in Blitz or in raids. Like I'd take him out just to mess around. I mean, he's got like a really interesting kit, and the animations for him are cool too. He kind of like throws people around, and it's kind of cool. All right, so that's all the energy I have for this particular raid. I'm going to step out now, and we'll go here, see where we're at. Okay. All right, let's step into the top 5 now, and we have a pretty interesting one this week. So we're going to move on here, and we're doing top 5 mystic characters from Marvel Strike Force. So, Maurice, I know that, again, much like every week's top 5, for Marvel Strike Force, you take pen to pad, and you just lock yourself in a room, and you just sweat it out until you come up with the best list possible of all these characters. What's what is our number 5 character this week, Maurice?
It was a toss-up. Did we decide to go with Thor? Did we go with Thor?
Yes.
Yes, Thor it is. Yes, Thor is our number 5 character. I don't know. I'm not sure he's made a top 5 yet. Good character, just super slow. God, he's so slow. But he's a great character. He's Mystic. And, at some point we're going to get this Mystic campaign, right? And I think he's going to be a huge, huge help in that. Just for his Lightning Storm mainly is his ultimate ability. And it does a little bit of AoE damage. Comparable, 250%. So, not game-changing, but will, enough to kind of finish off some enemies in the red health. But it applies stun to the primary target and then 30% to apply it to all the targets. So, on a good day, you're going to stun your main enemy, and then you possibly get one or two more, and really just change the tide of a battle. You stun a couple key characters. You stun a character, like Wolverine or like Elektra. So somebody like even a Hawkeye with his blind, any character crossbones is detonate. If you can stun them before they get those off, I mean that gives you an extra turn to finish off the opponent. So it's a great move. His throw is super underwhelming. That it's supposed to be a chaining ability, but it doesn't do much damage. And when you fling it out there, and it does like half the damage of your basic attack, you just essentially wasted your turn if it doesn't chain. But it's a 70% chance to chain up to 9 additional targets. So like in a raid environment, or any, you got a bunch of minions that were summoned in by Nobu or by Yondu, like he can just clear them all out if you're lucky with his hammer throw. His basic attack does decent damage. Maxed out is 300% damage, so that's pretty good basic attack on him. And then his God of Thunder is his unique, his final ability, and it's 10% damage basically to his kit, and then 10% damage for each ally. So, excuse me, Asgardian. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Asgardian, yes.
Yes. Which I'm not sure how many of those are actually in the game.
I believe there's I believe there's none right now, right? I mean, it's only Loki would be.
Oh
Loki,
yes, yeah, but he's not in the game yet. Oh, and you were correct, by the way, about the Ant-Man energy. It does not count toward the tickets, so you were right about that.
That's depressing.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little better than it was, but yeah, he's the only one. Much like Quake's the only Inhuman right now in the game.
Right. So she gives bonuses for nobody.
Herself only, yeah. So I guess technically he's getting 20% damage, which is nice. Not bad.
Well, he's got, I think, one of the most interesting kits in the game. I mean, he's really got a fun kit. He does pretty good damage, and he's also got the stun, like you said. He does an area effect attack. He does a chaining attack with his hammer throw. And Thor is one of my favorite characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from the comics. I mean, period. He's one of the more powerful Avengers, being the God of Thunder, and really one of the few Avengers that can, stand up to the likes of Thanos, on the battlefield. I mean, he's got a really, great, lore behind him as a character, and he's definitely one of my favorite characters in the game. When he was in the game, he's definitely one of the characters I wanted to go for right away. His speed does definitely definitely does suck. I mean, he has a base of 80 speed, which is really slow, and if they increase that in any way, I mean, that would make him instantly a super character. I mean, he'd go from being a mediocre character to being a top flight character right off the bat. But who knows? I mean, we may be looking at some other ways for this game to affect speed. Maybe they'll make some changes to slow and other things in the game, and who knows? But I do know that eventually, we're probably going to get some sort of comparable version of mods or something like that in this game where we can adjust speed. And when that happens, I think Thor will shoot right up to the top of the viability chain here in this game for sure. But as a cosmic character, and I'm sorry, as a mystic character,
Well, he's cosmic too. That's
Yes,
partly why he's cosmic. He's blaster. He's Avenger. So he's very versatile.
right.
I know we're talking about mystics, but that's just a little bonus
He's
on him.
Cosmic, Mystic, Blaster, and Avenger, and he's Asgardian. So, as we add more of those characters, I'm sure he'll be even more viable. And he's definitely a good component to an Avenger squad too. So, but moving along, we're gonna go on to our number 4 Mystic character in Marvel Strike Force, and it's none other than Hand Sentry. Why'd we go with Hand Sentry here at number 4, Maurice?
Because he's the man. He's actually creeping up, or he's not creeping. He is becoming part of the arena meta as a minion, which is amazing. He's mystic. All of the hand characters are going to be mystic, I believe. Pretty sure they should be.
Yes.
But decent damage on his basic, 300%. Smoke bomb is he doesn't physically taunt. What he does is he makes everyone else stealth except himself, which is a passive taunt. But he applies evade to 4 allies. So not only does he put them all in stealth, he gives them evade. So if you time it properly, you can basically evade the opposing like AOE, like a big ultimate ability if you time it properly, or just protect your. In Blitz, it's really helpful because in Blitz, you're going to use your hand minion team, and you're not going to use them in the tier 7, tier 8 probably unless you just have them completely decked out. But it's very helpful because in like the tier 4-ish, tier 5 type of Blitz battles, you face a lot of Punishers, you face a lot of like Yondus, and so you put evade on the character. Yondu won't hit a stealth character anyway, but like Punisher will come out with his AOE first move and just whiff because Hand Sentry is faster than Punisher, but it's super helpful. And then he's it kind of like similar to, I guess, Captain America. He evades. He gives everyone evasion. He gives everybody stealth, and he himself has a natural 15% block chance in his kit, and he also gets 10% damage. So he will shed a lot of damage that way as well. He's got a little survivability. Very, very good character. You're seeing a lot of people pair him up with like Crossbones and Kingpin and stuff in arenas now, or at least where I'm at in arena. Like you start creeping up into the hundreds, you start seeing a lot of Hand Sentries, a lot of Crossbones, a lot of interesting teams that you can use Hand Sentry with.
Yeah, he's got a straight, simple kit, and that's a good thing. Sometimes it's simpler the better. Not necessarily complicated, and his basic does decent damage. His smoke bomb, like you said, not only applies the stealth, but also applies evade, and makes it so that even if you do an area of effect attack, you're not going to really be able to hit these stealth targets. And he's got a sort of a block built into his kit, or a chance to block built into his kit in his unique with Way of the Scorpion. So overall, I mean, he has, again, just a pretty basic kit. It's not very involved. It's not very, it's not really complicated. It's just kind of straightforward. But overall, he can be very effective even outside of a hand team. And I think he's definitely one of the better characters in the game, period, right now. And his speed is not too bad either at 103. So,
he's a protector though, so that's actually quite good for a protector. So
right,
I personally think it's probably the best quote taunt in the game. I think it is. I like it the best.
Right. The passive taunts are fantastic, and yeah, he's a good overall character. Definitely, our number 4 Mystic character here. Now going on to number 3. Who do we have here, Maurice?
Black Panther, right?
Yep.
Black Panther. He made our list a couple weeks ago. On I forget which one it was, but he's made the list a couple times.
He made the top 5 brawlers list.
yes, that's what it was. Lots of basically just piercing in his kit. He gets counters. If you get him below a certain amount of health, he goes berserk. He goes nuts. He's got a Panther Rush. His ultimate's pretty nice. It has changed, and the cool thing about Black Panther, if he is charged, all attacks have bonus damage, and you deal a little bit less damage, and then you never mind. Let me rephrase it. If you charge, you attack all the enemies for 220% damage. Then lose charge. All attacks have 30% piercing and 15% extra crit chance, which is nice. Um, and if you drop below 50% health, that's how you gain charge. What makes Black Panther so good is when you kill a character, you basically get to go again, right? You get a full speed bar as soon as you kill a character, and especially in the raids, and even like we're talking Mystic characters. So eventually we'll get this Mystic campaign, and so you can go in there and just whittle some characters down. Just have Black Panther just clean the board. Just kill one after another. Much like Gamora, you use her offense up, her big slash move, kill a character, then you pick off another one, with your chain attack, and then you get to use your basic, all while having offense. So this is kind of similar to that, but he can just go and go and go and go and go. I really like speed bar manipulation, just like the other game we play, Star Wars, the turn meter manipulation. It's maybe it's a force of habit, I don't know, but I really like speed bar mechanics a lot in this game.
Well, it's basically an alternative to speed itself. I mean, if you talk about turn meter, if you're not going to be the fastest character in the game, you better manipulate turn meter the best in the game.
Well, he's very fast too. This character,
right?
He's a fast character. Yeah, 125 speed. That's pretty sure it's second, third fastest in the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and he's got
don't quote me on that. That's
but he's one of the fastest characters in the game for sure. And besides the ability to gain 100% speed on his speed bar, like you said, he has this charge attack where he deals an increased amount of damage, and then when he loses charge, he has opportunities to do multiple other attacks, and then he also has the ability to gain offense up on his special with Hunter Spirit and gain counter on a critical hit. So he has counter attack. So what he can do is he can actually counter attack, and then if he kills somebody or destroys an enemy with that counter attack, then he gets 100% speed on that attack, right? And then he basically gets to go again, or does he have to use that special attack specifically to get 100%? It's anytime he kills somebody, right?
Yeah, anytime, yeah.
Right, so I mean, if he does a counter attack and he wipes somebody out, let's say a low health minion or something like that on the other side, he's going to then again get another opportunity to go, and he's just somebody that can keep going and going and going in this game, and that's what you need. Again, in any of these turn-based games like Marvel Strike Force, speed and turn meter manipulation are key and are king, and they will always win you the bout. The team that gets to go the most wins the most, and that's just how it goes. So he's absolutely a fantastic character. Also applying slow with his basic attack, and slow right now in this game is OP. So if you're able to apply slow, again, obviously, as the name indicates, it keeps your enemies from going and taking more turns, and keeps you taking more turns than they are. Thus, again, he gets to go more than his enemies do, which means in this type of game, he's going to stay on top. So let's go to our number 2 Mystic character in Marvel Strike Force, and that is Doctor Strange himself. So I know you love my Doctor Strange here. He's such a pretty Doctor Strange, completely unlocked with 6 shards. But let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about how great this character is, Maurice.
Well, you just talked about how speed bar manipulation, turn meter manipulation is king, and and he does just that on turn. His unique on turn 20% chance to fill the lowest speed bar by 30%. So this can be handy. I don't have Doctor Strange myself, so I haven't really got to test him. But certain slower characters, you could potentially speed up. You got to one out of 5 times, like somebody like Kingpin or any tank. Luke Cage, you can get Luke Cage to go and give his AOE defense up, spam a little bit of ability energy, and so there's ways, creative ways to use him just from his unique alone. Not to mention the rest of the kit. He's got a great. It's basically an AOE dispel with a 90% chance to flip those buffs on the opposing characters to debuffs. We talked about this either last week or the week before. He applies 2 random negative effects against primary target, and then 90% chance to do that flip. And on a taunting tank, like you got Captain America with a taunt and defense down or defense up. Um, Doctor Strange goes in there, flips it to defense down, and he turns taunts into bleed. So that's pretty cool. It punishes these teams like in Blitz. If you're going against teams that have like Drax, Captain America, and Thanos, or not Thanos, in 3 tanks, you just basically, and 2 of them are taunting at once. You just get rid of them. No Hawkeye or Dispel needed, other than Doctor Strange himself, and just dispel the taunts and do damage. Just bleed them, which is great. His basic attack is kind of 150% piercing, but it does apply offense down that's unavoidable. So that's nice. If you can, target a crossbones right before he detonates, target a quake right before she goes, you could really, really just cripple the other team, because those teams are generally built to around a detonate or any sort of massive AOE. And then he does have a revive in his kit that also revive that ally 40% health, and then heal allies for 5,000 health plus 10% of Doctor Strange's health. So it's a decent heal with a revive mechanic. It's very little revive in the game, so it's unique. I don't have him, but I have watched a couple videos where the revive fails, so I'm not sure exactly the mechanics how that works, but great character, and he is in the premium orbs, and we talked about that cadence earlier. He may be farmable semi soon, so that would be cool. That's a character everyone should go out and get.
Yeah, no, I agree. And most characters, or most people that do have this character, put him in, I believe right below the highest tier, which is, right below, let's say, your Yondus and your Quakes and your Gamoras. He's like right in that next tier, right below them. And maybe it's just he's a synergy away from being put into that higher tier, as a character, and maybe it's because he doesn't have the Avenger tag or something like that that makes him just that much better. But like you said, I mean, having the revive is a rare mechanic in this game, so that's a huge asset. On top of that, he's also got the ability to stick offense down, with his basic attack, which is, again, not fantastic in damage, but I think it still is good because it's also an unavoidable attack, which is great. And with his heal, obviously he can heal the rest of his team besides the revive. He can heal the ally, and he has an ability to convert negative effects into positive effects. I'm sorry, and they'll flip positive effects into negative effects on his enemies, and that's a pretty interesting mechanic as well. One that you don't really see anywhere else. Is there anybody else that does that?
Not really. No.
Right.
Our next, yeah, no.
And then at the highest level, he also applies 2 random negative effects to an enemy. So, he's very, he's very good because of also the unique ability that he has, which also, much like Black Panther, is a manipulation of turn meter or speed bar, whatever you want to call it. And any character that does this obviously is going to be going more frequently. His speed at 108 is again not the slowest in the game, so he's going to get the chance to go more frequently with that turn meter manipulation. But obviously, having all that together in one kit is a fantastic combination to have. The revive, the speed, the unavoidable speed down. The unavoidable offense down, with the ability to revive and also heal, and then convert positive effects on your enemies to negative effects. He's just got a full spectrum, like a really great kit all around, and could be an asset, I think, to any squad in any matter of the game. Not only for Mystic battles, but also for for raids, for arena, for any area of the game. So he's overall just a fantastic character. That's our number 2 Mystic character in Marvel Strike Force. Moving on to our number 1 Mystic character in Marvel Strike Force. Who do we have, Maurice?
Yondu.
What a surprise!
Yeah, what a surprise. You asked if any character in the game does what Doctor Strange does. Perhaps some of those AIM characters, I don't know anything about them. But Yondu, he doesn't flip them; he steals them. He on turn, every time he takes a turn, he copies the positive effect off an enemy. You can't do taunt, but like let's say I don't know, defense up, offense up. He can take death mark or not death mark, death proof, which is cool. It's speed up, which so it's great. He can take stealth, all sorts of cool stuff there that he can do. He can do, and he dispels it. He basically just steals it. And then, of course, he's got just a dispel that can clear two positive effects on his basic. He's got an AOE that's undodgeable piercing, which is pretty cool. And then also he's a summoner, summons one or two Ravagers at 300% normal damage with offense up. That's pretty nasty. You get a couple of those boomers drop down. You have a couple targets like adjacent to one another. You can just wipe them out with two AOE's quickly from those boomers. Just would arguably like top three character in the game overall. Just fantastic as right now in the current state of things. Just fantastic character, mystic, cosmic, and a Ravager, which is pretty awful faction right now, but
Yeah, he's.
great character. Everybody should be farming Yondu if you don't already have him finished.
I think he's the best character in the game personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got fantastic damage. Obviously, his ability to steal effects is tremendous. Again, nobody else does this in the game. His area of effect attack does a crazy amount of damage. He's a summoner, like you said, that summons minions, and his Ravagers do a ton of damage, and they also heal the lowest health ally. He's also got the ability to clear positive effects with his basic attack, and overall, I mean, he's just the best character I think in the game. I mean, again, he's just such high damage. He's a character that you can use in any area of the game, almost a must-have basically at this point in this game. And you should, if you get your Yondu, level him up as much as you can, and don't even think about it twice. I mean, he's worth every bit of gear and mats you can put into him. At the highest level, he always copies a positive status effect from the enemy target on his unique, and again with his special attack, he does undodgeable piercing for 220% damage. So that's a tremendous amount, and he's just a great character overall, and again a must-have in this game at this point. If you're not farming Yondu, you should be farming Yondu, or you need to call somebody and find out how you get Yondu. That's just really how it is. His his speed is also pretty good at 112, and he's not necessarily the most squishy character in the game either. He's not an easy farm because again you're not going to get a ton of shards for him off the bat, but he's definitely somebody that you should work on. He's somebody you get right away in the first level of the Heroes campaign. So if you have not started farming Yondu yet, you should definitely start doing it right away because he's basically an essential character in this game. So that's Yondu. I mean, I think Maurice has a picture of Yondu next to his bed. He just kind of looks at. Is that true, Maurice? Are you there, Maurice?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was on mute. Yeah. Yes, I do have a picture, and I've also been practicing my own Yaka arrow to turn my light switch off every night before I go to bed. So
Yes, yes. You just touch the picture and kiss it goodnight. Yes, but that's our number one Marvel Strike Force Mystic character. We do have an honorable mention, and yes, it is Mordo. Mordo.
yes, and he's honorable mention just because like I talked about earlier, I haven't used him personally. But he's got a very very cool kit. The basic attack it does a little bit of damage, and it applies 1 to 2 random negative status effects on an enemy, which is interesting. But then his mesmerize move, you got a 50% chance to stun the target you've selected, and then it's basically an AOE blind up to 3 targets plus the initial target. So if your stun misses, so up to 4 targets you can blind, and then 50% chance to apply slow to 2 targets. So that's a whole lot of debuffs. He touched on how overpowered slow is earlier, and then he's got another AOE move that cannot miss. Like I said, I haven't practiced with him. I haven't really used him much, watched much footage on him, but on paper, that should mean that he can hit Nebula when she's have evasion. She can hit he can hit Spider Man, that sort of thing. It's basically an AOE that actually does damage. The Mesmer move does not do any damage, but the Demons does. It attacks all targets 200% damage, and you inflict heal block for 2 turns, which can be pretty handy. You get in these blitz matches where you basically just kamikaze on a certain character to get him down, like Quake or Crossbones, and then like Night Nurse or Medic, whoever on the other team heals him right back up. That could stop that. And then he actually has a Mystic tag synergy on death of a Mystic. Heal self for 15% of this character's max health, and you get ability energy. Or if it's not a Mystic, you get 10% health. So that's pretty cool. If you use them in an all Mystic team and a character dies, you just speed up the recharges of these 2 AoEs I just mentioned. So that's a pretty cool mechanic, and there's a lot of good Mystic characters. This list was tough to make. There are a couple characters like Thanos, Nobu. Like they're good characters. They didn't quite make the list. So when you start piecing together a Mystic team, we've got a lot of pieces to do it. I'm kind of tempted to do one now that I'm rereading his abilities. I'm trying to get a little bit out of Mordo, a little bit extra. So
Yeah,
we'll see. Like if we do this list again in 3 months, Mordo might be number 1. Mordo might be not on the list at all. I'd hate to leave him out and just him be amazing. So he did make the honorable mention this week.
Yeah, no, I think that you're right by including him. I mean, he does have a pretty interesting kit. Now, I haven't heard fantastic things about his damage, but he does.
No, it's not worth mentioning.
Yeah, but he does apply, negative status effects. He does uh, apply slow, blind, and stun. He has that synergy with other Mystic characters, and being that we're doing a Mystic list, I mean, this is very appropriate for this. So basically, he's a character that, on death of a Mystic, gets his ability energy, and that's obviously, going to increase his abilities to do more of these special attacks that he has. And he has some pretty interesting and cool animations too in this game. I mean, if you look at what he does,
the animations are cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's a very, very awesome watching him do what he does out there, and obviously he's really dependent upon dealing a lot of negative effects, and basically he's not going to be somebody who's going to be your high damage dealer for the squad, but he basically facilitates the rest of the team by sticking negative effects on your opponents and kind of just getting them to a point where the rest of the team can then now finish them off and take them out. He's just basically a setup guy, and that's what it seems like by looking at his kit. But again, much like Maurice had mentioned, I don't have him either, so I'm just kind of going off of what I see here on paper and what I've heard from other people that do have the character so far. And I think that he definitely is a worthy honorable mention for the list, especially with that specific synergy for other Mystic characters. So he's, I think, a pretty interesting addition to the game, and we'll just have to wait and see how viable he is ultimately. But so far, he does look like he has a kit that is worthy of honorable mention for the top 5 Mystics for sure. So that's our top 5 Mystics from Marvel Strike Force, courtesy of Ramona Zob and good old Maurice. If you guys like that, definitely leave a like on the video. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to some more gameplay. But while we do that, if you guys have any topics that you'd like to discuss, this is that time of the stream where we do take questions or discuss any specific topics that people want to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and discuss maybe any characters you want to discuss, anything about the update you guys want to discuss. So if you have any questions you want to ask, and we can kind of discuss that here on the stream now. Now's the time. So type that into the chat. Do we have anything from before, Maurice, that you kind of have seen in the chat, or has it been kind of quiet?
No, just explaining that the Iron Man event was extremely easy. People were talking about Korath earlier, and he is the current Blitz.
Right.
And if you guys don't have him or you haven't really fooled around with him, he's only got 2 nodes, 16 energy nodes. So he's a long farm, but so this is a good chance to really get a nice chunk of his shards and get him to a usable level, at least in Blitz. He's fantastic. He's a great character. Maybe not arena meta, but what he can do if he maxes him out, he can go first because he on spawn he gets speed up, and he has a move which heal blocks and then a 50% chance to ability block. With that speed up, he's quick enough to go before the opposing Black Widow, right?
Right.
Especially if you pair him with Cable, he can go like you pair him with Cable. Cable gives the speed bar at the beginning of the match, so he'd go, pretty much before almost. I'm not quite sure about Gamora, but he goes before Black Widow, and he has a 50% chance to ability block Black Widow. And if you stop her from putting everybody in stealth, giving speed up, that's nuts. That's a game changer. That's a win condition on the very first move of the match. So he's pretty cool. He's got a lot of tags, mercenary tag. He's got the cosmic tag. He has a villain tag. He pairs really well with Kingpin with all the assist mechanics. He's a very, very useful character. We were talking about it in the guild chat today a little bit. This might be one. If you guys didn't go crazy on Mordo, if you're newer players, you don't really stand a chance in these new character blitzes. So this would be a good one maybe to go nuts on.
Right.
So this is not a bad blitz to use all your currency on and test out your teams. I think he's one of my favorite characters in the game. But
yeah, no, he's a definitely cool character, and he has a synergy with my boy. You know what I'm talking about.
Ronan, he is a
Ronan,
Kree.
he is a Kree. Yes, so
he's a tech. He's got lots of tags. He's got a tech tag too. It's incredible how many tags he has.
He has a lot of tags. Yes, and he's a good character. I mean, again, he's somebody that you definitely can use in a lot of different aspects of the game. I've heard a lot of good things. I mean, obviously I don't have them because I only was really working on Ronin, but I've heard a lot of good things about the Kree synergy overall. And if you have a full set of Kree, that squad can do pretty well.
Yeah, Kree is they're a very good blitz team up until about tier 3, tier 4. At least for me, I don't have them very well developed, but I've got them all developed to the same level, and they're usable. They definitely get me some wins. Kree's decent. They're okay. I mean, but we do have a question. What do y'all think the most underrated character is? And that's from Josue Garcia. Korath is one of them. I watched an interesting video the other day. It was Kraken. Is a newer guy on the YouTube scene, but he has the highest roster in the entire game, ranked number 1. And
I know about him. A mobile gamer told me about him.
Yeah, and he did a video with Valley Flying is the guy's name, and they discussed most underrated characters. And one that he mentioned was Elektra, and that's a character I just had kind of been slowly developing along with my hand. But he made a good point in that if you pair him, Elektra has all the bleed mechanics on her basic.
Right.
You pair her with Kingpin, she's just throwing bleed all over the place. If you level her up, she does have a dispel on her move, or she goes stealth. It's a character I'm interested in now after watching that video. You guys should check his stuff out. It's really cool to see these fully maxed out characters in action. This isn't not like a developer account or anything. This is his personal account, so he knows the characters. He's used the characters. Very, very informative stuff. I'm learning a lot from just watching him play. Like just the decisions. Well, I mean, he's got every character maxed out, so it's nice to see. Like when I'm sitting here, like, well, this character looks pretty cool. Does it work? And then you see him use it in the video, and it clearly does or doesn't. It's very helpful. It's very, very helpful, especially if you're newer, like myself. I've only been playing a few months since I was even a couple weeks late on the global launch. So it's nice to see that type of stuff. But what about you? Underrated characters?
Well, my opinion is the most underrated character is Yandu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. He's not underrated at all. Actually, the most underrated character is definitely Ronan, without a doubt. I honestly I like Nebula.
She was another one on their list. Yeah.
I like Nebula a lot. I think she's got a really good kit, and I mean, I'm not saying that she's completely ignored. I mean, some people use her, but I think that she's not really as widely used as she could be. She has, um, she has pretty decent damage. She has a chance to gain speed up with her basic attack. Obviously, she can do counter attack, and she has that cosmic tag, which is pretty cool. So tech, she's a brawler. I think her speed is not too bad. She can gain evade with her special attack here, and then her unique. She has a chance to revive as well. So that's again a pretty rare mechanic in this game. So I mean, overall, she's not a bad character by any stretch of the imagination. 107 speed is not bad. She's a decent character, and I think one of the characters kind of flies under the radar when you think about putting together viable squads. But I think that she could be a nice addition to a lot of different teams, and even though she doesn't necessarily have a specific synergy, she's somebody you can kind of throw in as like a fifth character in arena and definitely do some work.
And you've been saying this for a while. You've kind of talked me into her. I've watched some other people kind of classify her as underrated, so I've been working on her a little bit. Yeah, I will say mine's not nearly as high as yours. Mine's maybe 6,000 power or so, but she's great for like a substitute, like a blitz, like tier 3, tier 4 blitz teams.
Yeah.
Like let's say you have 4 mercenaries or 4 hydras, you can just kind of throw her in like any team as like a fifth. Like she kind of, I can't build a team that she works great in, but she's been an excellent just throw in for a free blitz character, and she never hurts the team. So
No, she's a great character. Yeah, and we have Dylan K here saying he's got Black Widow. Congrats, Dylan. And he's saying she's amazing, and Yondu is still pound for pound the best in the game. We were actually just talking about that with Yondu just a few minutes ago. So yeah, he's absolutely, I think, the best character in the game. It's up to for debate, of course. I mean, there's different benefits for each different type of character. So everybody has some different opinions about that. Some people may say Captain America. Some people may say it's Quake. Some people may say it's Gamora. But I think it's definitely Yondu. That's just my opinion.
yeah, I'm gonna butcher your name, man. I'm so sorry. Sarav Kumar asks, "What do you think about Marvel Contest of Champions? Have you played that game?"
I have played it. Not much. So I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about it. I think it's pretty cool. It's more of a live action game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of seems like it's more like a like Street Fighter esque or Mortal Kombat esque type game, and I actually like games like that. I actually play a game called Power Rangers Legacy Wars, which don't make fun of me, but it's actually a pretty coul game, and they just recently had an update that incorporated all the Street Fighter characters. So now you have like Ryu. And Bison and Chun Li and Cammy and you have a whole bunch of Street Fighter characters. Akuma in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game, but it's very much in the same vein in that there's special attacks. It's side scrolling, live PvP. So I like that game. So I mean, maybe if I had played Marvel Strike Force, I'm sorry, Marvel.
One more time. Contest.
Marvel Contest of Champions.
Pull out the future fight.
There's so many Marvel games. But if I had played Marvel Contest of Champions during the height of its popularity, maybe I'd have a little more nostalgia for it. But that's something I never really got into.
Nah, I'm not a fan of the side-scrolling type fighting games on my mobile phone. Like if I'm gonna play a game like that,
You don't know, man. I'm telling you.
I can't, man. My boo boo fingers. I can't play games like that on my telephone. Like
Oh,
you know, just,
it's cool. You just got to slide back and forth. You swipe, you can cancel attacks, and you can do like, you can get really pretty intricate with what you can do on those games. I mean, it's come a long way
that it has, yeah.
from the days of like where like you miss your attacks because it doesn't register your finger and stuff like that. The sensor is now very sensitive, so you can do a lot of really cool things, and those games graphically are tremendous. I mean, Power Rangers looks like a console game. It really does. It looks super high graphic detail, and I mean, there's events like right now we're actually in the middle of a Zord event, a Megazord event, which is like sort of like a guild war. Where it compiles all the damage that you do with Megazords against other guilds, and then the Megazords are unavailable for 2 weeks after that, so you can't do any Megazord battles. But for 3 days, you can do Megazords against other guilds, and you have like, Zords that are available. So you have like your Dino Zord, or the Thunder Zord, or you can use some of the minions like Goldar and characters like that from the story, and you can fight against other guilds and try to get as much damage for your guild as possible, and then the top guild gets like a huge prize box, and the rewards are actually pretty tremendous. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a cool overall game. I mean, if you like that style of game, if you like Contest of Champions, I recommend you check it out. But
Got 'em.
do we have any more questions or comments?
No, that's about it.
Okay, well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We'll be back on Sunday with our Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live show as usual, and we'll be back again next Friday night. Hopefully, starting a little bit early, or a little bit earlier. Try to get closer to midnight. We started a little bit late tonight, but I appreciate all of you that stuck around with us here till what is now 2:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And I've had a lot of fun doing these the last couple of weeks. I'm going to continue to do them, and we're going to do more top fives. We're doing more Marvel Strike Force videos during the week. I want to cover a little bit more about this most recent patch and update, in regards to Ant-Man and Wasp. So expect a video about that, over the next few days. Again, as always, I appreciate everybody checking out any of my content. If you guys, want to see the top five, and you missed it on the live show tonight, we'll be, putting a version of that out later on this week, as well as last week, so I didn't get a chance to put that out yet. It's been a busy week for me. We'll get that out. And I also have a movie review for Jurassic World that should be dropping either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So if you guys want to check that out, and you care about what I think about the Jurassic Park universe, you should watch it. But do you have anything else to share, Maurice?
Not really. Mr. Garcia asked, "What's the best strategy for Blitz?" Maybe we can cover that a little bit next week. That's a long topic. I'll ramble on about that for a while. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can talk about that, and maybe we should actually just put together a video about it, as a whole. Maybe just put a whole segment together on the live show about it. That's a good idea. So maybe we'll do some sort of segment next week on the live show about the best practices for Blitz, and we'll just do that for you, Josue. Okay, so we'll put that together and answer that question in a little bit more of an educated fashion. Put together some tips and some different opinions that we have for that, and if you agree, great, and you can share your thoughts about it next week with us. We'll talk about it on the next show. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.